Welcome, welcome, everybody. It's Tuesday night, Justice for All, and I am your hostess, Jocelyn. It's beautiful here in New England. I have to say I'm enjoying every single day. It was 84 today. It was 86 yesterday, and everybody's like, oh, I'm ready for fall. Shut up. I'm not ready for fall. Let me keep the heat. You know, New England weather can suck sometimes. We got enough for winter. Let's wait till November. Till then, let's keep the heat. I want my pool still open. So got to keep the water clean. You never know when you're going to need 26,000 gallons of water, 10 days of darkness, or, let's punish the people, or the electric grid goes down. Yeah, everybody needs to be prepared. You just don't know when those elites are going to lose their ever-loving minds. I'm just going to do a really fast open here because, as you know, we've got Robbie from the UK. We've got to find out what's going on over there. Trumpy went over to visit. We've also got millions of them on the streets of London peacefully protesting. What is that about? What are they hearing about our shutdown? All sorts of things going on. And, of course, he's got some good information that he's relaying from other sources that they have about Comey, etc. And of course, with his expertise and everything that Robbie knows, giving us his insight into what's going on. So first, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and it just keeps on coming up. So we got my mom's Medicare statements. Page 1. I can't even read what the languages are. Page 2. I've got one, atención, Spanish that I understand. Banahamanamani, Falaja, Samoan, Serbian, Spanish, Tagalog. Do we have people in America that speak Tagalog? Tamil, Telugu, Li Fakafonga, Chukis. Okay, and then we have another full page. This is, page 3. Marshallese, Navajo, Nepali, Farsi, Polish, Portuguese, Punjab. And then we have page 5 of languages and page 6 of languages. So I have 3 pages of foreign languages of illegals, alternate formats and languages for your availability for Medicare. And they've already found hundreds of thousands, if not millions, illegals on Medicaid and Medicare. Got some numbers. I don't have them with me tonight because I didn't want to get too in depth with it, but we are talking millions that Biden gave Social Security numbers to so that they could work and they could get benefits that we, the American people, the citizens and taxpayers, are not getting. So just saying, 6 pages. This is insane. It's America. You become American and you speak American English. Don't like it? Go home. Stop taking benefits from veterans, homeless, and it doesn't matter, any American, single mother, single father, whatever, that needs coverage. They come first. I'm sick to death of it. And then tied to that, talking to a couple of people in the city hospitals, major cities, the ERs, the trauma center, are down over 50%, pushing on 75% of the trauma techs, TEKS, not XTS, TEKS. Those who work the traumas as they come into the ER hospital. Those same techs who are drawing blood, doing EKGs, doing all the work in the ER. My one good friend said to me that on Tuesday night, they had over 300 people in the first 4 hours. 300 in the ER. And then all night, trauma. And then when they don't have trauma, they have the regular people. and all the illegals and people coming in to get health care. And then we have our senior citizens being brought in from the nursing homes and the dementia centers because, let me let you into a little secret. They charge you $5,000 per month in the nursing homes and up. In the dementia centers, $10,000 to $20,000 per month. And guess what? When the drugs wear off or they have an episode, guess what? They call 911 and send them back to the ER and to the psych center. So what the are we paying $10,000 to $20,000 a month for in a dementia center? Why don't they have an acute unit? It's a dementia facility, just like if it was a mental facility. Why do you not have acute care there? Just saying. So, only go to the ER if you're absolutely desperate. If you really, really need to go, a heart attack, a stroke, a broken leg, your arms falling off, your fingers hanging off. These people are overworked and there's no help. And these people are doing the job of 3 and 4 people in the ER. And you know what they're being paid? Jack diddly squat. They should be paid immediately when there's that kind of a shortage, double or triple. And oh, by the way, in following President Trump's rule, no tax on tips and no tax on overtime because they're covering the hospital's ass by doing 2 or 3 people's jobs. I'm absolutely disgusted. But yet we got Governor whatever Wu or whatever the hell her name is, or Morrow, I don't even care what their name is, in Massachusetts, giving $30,000 a month to illegals. And we have American citizens, we have people working in our hospitals to save lives, doing the job of 3 and 4 people, working 12, 16-hour shifts for crap pay. Pay attention, people. Wake up, because shit's hitting the fan. All right, so that's just my open for tonight, keeping it simple. Tonight, after my show, 9:15 on Telegram, my broadcasters, we have a chat with Ron Flosser, Reel to Reel. Make sure you're there discussing the latest information coming out on the day. And remember, tonight at midnight, the government's going to close down. Oh, did I do that out loud? Because you know what? You can clean out the crap. Big flush. Whoosh. Bye-bye. All you unelected, all you cheaters, all you liars. Whoosh. Big swirl. Bye-bye. And then we get the administration that our president is supposed to have, that every president has had and has been given. Just not Donald J. Trump. And oh, by the way, did anybody hear that little ooh at the meeting with Pete Hegseth and all the generals? President Trump, I am 45, 46, and 47. Whoops, I don't think that was a slip of the tongue. But you had to be listening very carefully. Mouth shut, ears open, let's go. All right, Chris, let's go to pre-break 1 and bring on my guest, Robbie of the UK. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello there, all the way from England.
All the way. Sorry, England. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I wasn't criticising you, darling. I'm just saying we're English. We're not British. British is an insult. Britain isn't a place. England's a country.
Correct. It's one of those elitist words that they toss around, and we tend to not pay attention to what the true terminology is. So absolutely right, and I do appreciate that. As does everybody else. We have to keep educating each other and let us know, what's really going on. So before we jump into the posts and a bunch of information and Comey and all that stuff that you've got some really good intel and thoughts on, what's going on in the streets of London? I'm seeing millions of people taking to the streets, and I'm assuming they want their country back. They want to be sovereign. They want to be English people, English speaking. Am I guessing right?
Yes. Yeah, very much so. It's the thing is once you effectively ban someone from flying their national flag, it's almost like someone seeing a bloke in the women's toilet. It's like, what? So sorry, what you've said actually it doesn't compute. So how we've got our plods, our poorly trained, overweight, really ridiculous police saying to someone, "Oh, your flag's offensive." It's like, it's our national flag, you retard. So there's a growing sort of like movement of people who are just very upset about this, but also they are scared. They're worried for their kids. They don't want them getting raped. They don't want them getting touched up. They don't want the women. We don't want our women getting raped up by illegals, because we have paedophile and sex pest judges who are sympathetic to the criminals and let them off. They go, "Oh, well, he came from Somalia, so he didn't understand he wasn't allowed to aimlessly violate a 12-year-old girl." It's because a lot of the judiciary are corrupt. They're perverts themselves, as are MPs. Most of them are perverts. That's how they compromise and get control of them. So it's there's about 5% of the UK were out on the streets.
There was a massive, massive picture. Sorry for the feedback, people. I think it's coming somehow from my end because it's when I'm talking. But when you look at the videos, it was masses of people and going over the bridge, London Bridge, and the other one, I can't, the Tower Bridge. And it just was absolutely fabulous. And I love the fact that they had the English flag and they were carrying it and saying, "This is our flag. This is our sovereign flag. We fly this. This is the highest." And you're absolutely right. But these bobbies that are coming along and saying it's offensive, I'm sorry, you're supposed to be neutral in the perfect world and your little mandates and rules and regulations. You can't be offended. And it's like, I liken it to, we've got Schumer and Swallowwell and all these idiots over here saying, "Oh, you have to, ICE has to take off the mask," and, Hakeem Jeffries, and ICE, we have to see their faces. Oh, really? How about you go to Dearborn, Michigan, and you go to all the places where they have Sharia and they have their faces covered? I'm sorry, we need to know their identity.
Hello. So, is it in there? Putting letters in there, little black letter boxes, posting your letters in the slot.
Insanity. How do you let illegals and non-Americans and people who have brought a ideology here that has
toxic ideology?
It's a what?
It's a toxic ideology. The ideology is to convert everyone by whatever means to their prehistoric way, but also they're allowed to lie and cheat. to do so. Takia.
Yeah.
Pretty disgusting. And also, anyone who likes chopping women's pleasure parts off.
Yeah.
That's called serial killers, and they deserve. That's what you do with serial killers.
Yep. I just, my show, Hypocrisy and Lies, that whole section, that with the Bobbies telling English people they can't carry the English flag, it's offensive. That's hypocrisy of the utmost. And we've got people saying that the ICE and the police and, the Border Patrol can't wear a mask as law enforcement people. But yet you're allowing Sharia in our land and allowing people to wear masks. That's hypocrisy. And it's all got to stop.
You've got people in the supermarket going around with diapers on their faces for no reason at all. Like, all right, go up, rip that off their face and go, stop being a dickhead. Stop wearing a nappy on your face, you creatures.
Exactly. Stiletto and I, when those people go by, we hold our breath and close our eyes till the rush of air goes by, because I don't want whatever's on that mask.
Did you notice one very beautiful thing on that march? The solidarity, the link between the UK and the USA. Still two crown dominions nominally, but the link there, the solidarity because of the slaughter of Charlie, that's pissed some people off. That has.
I bet it has. Absolutely. Christian people around the world are pissed off. The attack has been nonstop. When Obama came in, that, doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and it just hasn't stopped. It just hasn't stopped the attack. And I think we're fed up.
I'm not keen on them lumping in the likes of, there was another Christian attack. It's a Church of the Latter-day Saints. Shut up. They're no more Christian than Muslims, for crying out. In fact, they're worse, because Muslims don't actually pretend to take our Christ's name in vain and then do weird bonkers abominations with it. And I do wonder if there's something more to that, that attack on the Mormon church, because they're very closely allied with some of their nasty ceremonies with the Vatican. And the Vatican actually allowed a Mormon church to be built quite nearby. There's some very, very odd and very unsavory stuff goes on in the Mormon church temples. So,
I've heard. I don't know enough about it, but I have heard that it's very questionable. And again, you're allowed to have your own faith, but what you're not allowed to do is shove your religion and your ideology down everybody else's throat. And that's where I think the big rub is coming on between all the countries and the people, and they're saying enough is enough. That's why, I showed the papers for the Medicare and Medicaid that comes to your house, and it's got 6 pages of languages of your rights.
And you've got Tamil on there, haven't you? One of the languages you mentioned, Tamil.
Yeah, what is that?
Vanakkam. It's from Tamil Nadu in south of India, and I just said hello or goodbye in Tamil. Vanakkam. And Nandri is how you say thank you. I know about a little bit of about 25 to 28 different languages. Tiny little bit. Helps to get understanding across the divide of language and cultures.
Okay. I've got some kind of weird feedback. I don't know what's going on here. All right, so I apologize. No, it's me. It's my end. Good old New Hampshire and the backwards internet. So, Chris, can you put on? Well, since we already talked about Charlie Kirk, let's do video 2E, and there's all sorts of suppositions and conspiracy and theories and thought patterns going on about this. So why don't we take a look at this video and see what you think, Robbie?
All right.
Although,
So I want you guys to watch this
really
video
together?
right here.
Are we all
Watch the
together in
lady
this
on the
room?
far right.
Are we? I feel
And I
like
want you to
we're
really think
connected
hard
at some point, but
about the Charlie
maybe.
Kirk incident.
For anyone watching, can you guess which one of us
These
is
holograms are
really
getting out of
here?
control, guys. Check that out on the right. She was a hologram. But look how real that is.
I'm the one in love.
It's crazy.
I love.
So I wish he hadn't talked over it, but essentially he was talking about a show that had the three women on it, and one of them was a hologram, and when she disappeared and then she came back, disappeared, came back. So this, there's theories out there that perhaps Charlie Kirk was a hologram, and it could be, it could not be, but it depends. It's going to take us a while to find out what the truth was, what really happened, and why it happened.
No, absolutely, I agree. I've seen some of it out there in the truth sphere. It's like, oh my good grief! I mean, they're coming up with all sorts of things. Oh, maybe there's a shake charge in his microphone in here. It's like, shut up, because they think, they forget all of the absolute basics of physics. If you've got a shape charge in your microphone, the microphone does blow up like a small grenade, but you happen to have some of it go in a focused direction. Stuff like this, they're just, all the crazies are coming out of the woodwork. I mean, one of the craziest of all is like, oh, he was shot with a 30-06 from 200 yards away, and it didn't exit his neck. It's like, shut up. Everyone's screaming bullshit on that. It's like, bullshit. There are ways that you can use a 30-06, but you wouldn't use a bloody 30-06. You wouldn't. You just wouldn't.
You
There's
use
no
it
point.
on a very large buck, correct?
Well, yeah, or you can use it at greater range. Or you can download, you can make lower powered ammunition. But in which case, why the hell would you use a 30-06? Why not use a 300 Blackout, which is much better? I mean, you can do it actually from very close up with a subsonic round, which is how you get fully silenced weapons. You don't even hear it. You don't hear the round. You don't hear it. You might hear it in the air. That's it. And it does the catastrophic damage, and it won't go through the body. 30-06, absolute bullshit. No. I've worked for them, I've shot them, I've reloaded them, I've made my own match and hunting ammunition in 30-06. It's an extremely powerful round. Not a chance. It just blows through elk bone, and elk bone's about twice as dense, or moose bone, twice as dense as us pathetic humans. And there's not a lot holding all this together. So they've just been, as far as hologram goes, I've seen too much of what he was on, what he was handling, that reacts physically to his presence there. Mm-hmm. I've seen far too much react of what happened when he fell and everything else. A hologram doesn't make things move when they fall on them, when they flop over. I saw reactions similar to with the Kennedy assassination. The way his body, the way his T-shirt reacted, the way his body reacted, the way things seemed to act, it says to me it was real. It was real time, and to my mind, it came from kind of front right or direct right, possibly. But I'm going for front right, possibly from below trapdoor.
Interesting.
With a subsonic frangible round. Frangible means it blows apart, so it goes in and it just like that.
Right. Cavitation and destruction in the path.
Yeah, who knows?
Yep. All right. Well, just got to touch on it. Got to talk about it. But the outpouring and the amount of people that are starting, turning point chapters is fabulous, and it's around the world. people that are, going back to church, people that are renewing their faith, people that are thinking about, what's the whole point of this? What should we be doing as Christians? How should we be treating each other? And what should we be paying attention to? It certainly achieved all those things.
Yeah. It's just another really ring of gas lit under the boiling pot for people. They'll only take so much. I'm speaking to a lovely lady called Akriti, who's from Nepal. She was telling me about what was going on over there. I mean, she was loving it. She was worried for her friends, but found her friends were like going up and beating up politicians. I keep saying they only fear the mob. They will keep taking the piss like this until they have the mob at their door. American politicians had it in the New York riots and things like that. Politicians were dragged out. They were beaten up, shot, stabbed, hung from street corners. That's the only thing that politicians fear, and it's coming.
I think it is too. I do.
And they need it. They do as well. The police need to fear the mob.
Well, they do work for us, and everyone associated with this needs to understand that we, the people, you work for us. We're the employer. And for decades, they've kept us silent, and we've acquiesced and allowed them to push us around. And I think that is coming to a screeching halt. More and more people just saying enough is enough. We're looking at several states here that are being sued. We've got Pam Bondi, which opens up this next section. Pam Bondi, James Comey has been indicted. And she was on today. She wouldn't speak about an ongoing investigation, which I loved because that's what we listened to through Obama, through Biden, through all those Clintons. So it was nice to hear her say, I'm sorry, I can't comment on that, but I won't rule out that there may be more charges coming.
Charges in the grand conspiracy. This isn't just conspiracy. This is a grand conspiracy, a massive thing, which leads all the way back to Hillary and those emails.
Oh, you mean the ones that I wipe with a cloth? 30,000 on Wiener's laptop. Uma Abedin. Yeah.
All leads to her and what's on those emails, and then Wiener's laptop, Huma Abedin peeling the skin off that young girl's face and wearing it, all of that stuff. It's how you bring everything in. It's how you wake people up.
Yep.
From there to the satanic elites, the Vatican, and the pedos around the place.
Yep. And I think he's going to be singing like a bird as far as I'm concerned, Jim Comey. Chris, can you put up pick 2A and 2B? There we go. So explain what these are. These, I know what they are, but they're Q posts, and why you felt they were so significant about the conversation. You sent them to me the other day.
Well, yeah, it was a 5-year delta, and I think it was 47. I think it's 4769. It was 47. I think it's 4769. That it was just because of the date, and I was on Badlands and on Rumble, and there's some pretty good guys. Zach Payne from Red Pills 78. He's on there. He's a corruption detective, very good. And they pulled one of these up, and I was about to go on, and then he mentioned and misnumbered. There you are, 4767, because he said something. It was like 4867, but it's 4767. Some will take the easy path and exit early. And it was this guy who said, imagine, how does Comey actually start singing? And I think it was really clever. When Comey came out with the, and I do think some will actually take the opportunity to start blabbing early. And this is how you get reams and reams. And don't forget, I will come back to that point. Don't forget that this is a tin opener. This is a massive can of worms. And so what they do, like they did with General Flynn, the unmasking, they put in the tin opener with that one indictment, and only need one indictment to stick. It's a holding indictment. This then gets them to come in, pop open his life, spread through it, and then start unmasking his contacts, getting all those communications. And this is a treasure trove. And from there, they can get other links and indictments. I'm hoping somewhere along the way, there's going to be a link to Antifa in there. I will most probably come all over the place if you got a link like that. Excuse me, talking like that. So I do agree that possibly when he posted 8647, that was him saying, I want to talk, because he knew he'd get pulled in for questioning, which he was. Once he's in that environment, talking to them face to face, he can say, look, I know you're going to get me. I know that was on the cards all the time. I want to cut a deal. And I think possibly he's a scumbag. So I believe he is actually spilling his guts about everyone and everything.
And they're gleaning every little tidbit of information they possibly can. And I like that, we all wondered about the 8647, that the seashells at the seashore in the sand. It makes sense. The secret, come and get me, I need to talk. And reel them. They are going to reel him in and get all the information. And he's got a boatload. I mean, the connections, because of the FBI, he's got connections like there's no tomorrow. And I think it's going to expose Christopher Wray as well.
It already is. The back channels and the truthers are already talking about it. Christopher Wray's definitely up on deck for this. And also because of what he said and how he said it, there's now we got these 274 FBI agents without proper ID, a way of someone IDing them, put in there for crowd control. Shut up. Yep. Shut up. That's a lie in itself. But chances are Cash is just repeating what he's seen the justification for. But now you got DJT saying, right, I want to know the identities of every single one and what they were doing there. And they will be singing as well. Because there's a lot of the FBI were not happy about that day. There's a lot of law enforcement were not happy about this day. This has got to be exposed. Then Pelosi's up and all the others.
It becomes a domino effect, and it's going to be a tidal wave. It's not just going to be tick, 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 tick in one row. We're going to be talking the giant domino tsunami, and it's going to take them all down. And I like the fact, and it shows that these FBI agents that are still working, they need to be removed. They've got to revamp the whole thing, clean it out. They've got to, bleach it, and they got to flush it, and they've got to start all over again, because these people think that they're, look at what they did to the J6ers. Look at what they did. They were the ones breaking the windows. They were the ones creating the mayhem and destroying everything. And innocent people literally were thrown in jail. Not every single one of them, but most of them. And they need to pay the price for that. And singing isn't enough. You can sing and you can get a lesser punishment. Like, you can live at Gitmo, not be hung at Gitmo.
But also, you sometimes get put away with some pretty nasty people, and then your ass is in the wind. If they want to do something nasty to you, fair enough. The government does its thing. They say, okay, fine, you'll do easier time, but you're never going to have the status. Don't forget also, when you're involved in certain types of malfeasance and criminal behavior, all of your stuff goes. if there's anything to do with child trafficking and that, or threats against the country, treason, you lose everything. And also, Soros is on deck as well. Soros, not just Soros, loads more. Oh, by the way, before I forget, if you've got any money in any banks, get them into something like a building society, because silver's going to go over $50 an ounce. And when it does that, shit's going to get real. Bank of America's going to go, and it's going to take some big banks down. So make sure any money you have is in, we call them building societies, not banks. But they're different. Sorry, I have to mention that.
Yeah, I'm though. So you're saying take the money out of the banks and put it in a building society, but
we have building societies which have like shareholders, but they're not like the central banks, the scumbags who do all this money manipulation and gold and silver ETFs, paper fake manipulations. Definitely Bank of America, most probably Deutsche Bank are going to go. JP Morgan, the Jamie Dimon, the CEO, he's now sold all his stock. Warren Buffett has sold all his as well. They're getting the hell out of Dodge. They are getting their money out and buying silver and gold. And silver is going to destroy the big banks.
Good. I was just going to say that, Chris, but with the feedback, I'm glad you put that. So the equivalent to your building society is credit unions here, which are owned by the people, I believe, in a lot of cases. So that, I think, is maybe the equivalent.
Yes. Get your money out of the central banks, because what will happen is they will do a bail-in. That's where they take all of the money from everyone's accounts to prop up the bank, because they're allowed to, because when you put your money into a bank, you abandon it for their use. It's not your money.
It isn't our money right now either. You know, I've said, talk to people and having a general conversation and saying, you know, your pay, not your income, your compensation for working is taxed by the government before you even get it, which is illegal and unconstitutional because it's not income. It's pay. Yeah, it's pay between you and your employer for labor, for work you did for that person. And that these employers all acquiesced and allowed that to do that over the years is disgusting as well. And they need to be horsewhipped. But regardless, the paycheck is deposited into the bank and it's not real. It's all numbers. It's all just kind of fake. And then the bank, you know, you go to the bank, say, I want to buy a new car. And they say, oh, we're going to lend you the money. Well, I've already got money there. And they charge you, oh, but we already lent that to Sam. So we're going to lend you our money, which they don't have any money of their own. And they charge you interest on it. So they've got this bogus money that they pretend is theirs, which is really everybody else's, if you want to keep it clean. And then they charge interest on it. And you're paying interest to a bank that never had the money. And oh, by the way, they take your money and they pay you, I think it's 0.05% interest, but they're lending it out at 20% for credit cards or 7% for cars and homes. But you only get 0.05. Why aren't people pissed off about that? That's what makes me crazy, just in the most basic maths.
The crazy thing is that when you take out a loan, that bit of paper you sign with the amount and your signature on for that loan, you have created that wealth there. Correct. With your signature. You've created a promissory note, which is what a bank note is. You create the wealth. You are the creditor. The bank is the debtor. And they grift off it hugely. That's a crazy thing.
Yep.
You know.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
All right, so just on the queue, do we want to go back to those first two pictures? Was there something else on there? Because you had said the one, the 4767, was an indication of Comey singing and the links and
possibly. Yeah, possibly.
There was let me see, on go-to picture 2C and 2D. There's one 4766 designating the KKK and Antifa as terrorist.
Yeah, I just thought the timing of that was really, really interesting because it's right around the time that they decided to actually designate Antifa as a terrorist organization. And I used to think, well, you know, these deltas, it's a bit of a stretch. Yeah, that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It's happening too often because the very fact that the whole cue ball thing is so on point sometimes, you know, it's supernatural. That concerns me from a spiritual point of view as a Christian of Scripture, but it can't be denied that there's something very delicious and beautiful happening at the moment.
There it is. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, there it is. Designates KKK and Antifa as a terrorist organization, founded financially, legally, and backed by .org. You know, so yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly happening right now. They're talking, and DJT designated Antifa as a terrorist organization.
Yeah, there's more than Soros on deck for this. So that's huge amounts of money, and bear in mind that then comes into the U.S. coffers. You know, all of their things, because there was an EO that Donald signed, because any of those links from those terrorist organizations that go to child trafficking, this sort of thing, then it all comes under, right, you've done that. So actually, all of your assets are confiscated. And that's the Sovereign Wealth Fund of the USA.
I love it. I love it. Whew, so much information. I'm just looking back through here on the pictures. Let's go. Can you hang around just a little bit longer?
Hey, I'm up for the show. You know,
okay, good.
I've had some break.
I love it. Let's go to break 2, Chris. Come back, and I've got a couple of like little pictures and clips that we can talk about that's been happening over the past couple of weeks and keep reappearing like a bad penny. Thanks, Chris.
That's good. Thank you. So the Pope says you can't vote for Trump because he has a strict immigration policy. You know who else has a strict immigration policy? Heaven. So it costs $450 billion to care for the migrants who invaded our country, and yet they told us $10 billion for a wall was too expensive. Got it. So a mother can abort her baby if she doesn't want the responsibility, but a father will go to prison if he doesn't want the responsibility. Interesting. So liberals didn't mind showing a vaccine card in order to buy food, but asking them to show an ID in order to vote is too much? Got it. It's funny how if you have a nose ring, we all know who you're voting for. California is now proposing 0 interest and 0 down for illegal immigrants buying a home. What's even the point of being an American citizen anymore? If our military put the same focus it spends on Israel's border on our own southern border, illegal immigration would be over in a day. So TikTok's bad, but war in the Middle East is good. Got it. The same people that said the economy was great under Biden are now preaching that Kamala will fix the economy.
All right, we're back. So we've got Robbie from the UK and giving us some background of what's going on over in England and what the people are thinking and what he's seeing. You know, we all get the same back channels. We get the same podcasts and people. And it's good to make sure that they're saying the same things in one place that they're saying in another, and that we're all getting the same information, but it's good to get different opinions. I came across a couple of pictures and videos that are worth repeating. So I found these to be pretty funny. Can you put up picture 1A and 1B, please, Chris? So it came out with the blaze. Trump just really put a picture of Biden's auto pen on the presidential walk of fame. Love it. Oh, God. Do 1C and 1D, which is the same thing, just a little better picture there. So he hangs it and you can see him right there, and it's a little bit of a bigger picture. So as people go by, what I'm waiting for is to find out. I think I did a couple of screenshots today, and they said that Elizabeth Warren is going to be having a little bit of panties in a twist. Let me see if I can find it with all this coming out about the auto pen. It was really pretty good. I was shocked about it. Oh, I don't know if I can find it.
Well, there's people have been looking at the communist one that was used, and the B is very, very suspiciously like Jill Biden's. Basically, it's a forensic match for Jill Biden.
Right. If you the expert look at it, that's what they're saying is it's a dead match, dead ringer for how she signs.
Yeah, which means it's invalid straight away. Well,
that would mean that all the any of the EOs that he passed, any mandates and all that kind of stuff are not legit, and then all of the pardons, etc., are null and void, and that means that kicks out a Supreme Court judge, the one that went and did the lesbian
Ketanji fucktard.
Yeah, that doesn't know what a woman is. She's not a scientist.
Yeah, it's a creature. It's a creature. But the thing is, if it's not his signature that's on the auto pen, it's invalid straight away. They may as well have been drawing a small pile of dog turds. You know.
So you're saying that even the signature on the auto pen is not his, let alone that they were allowing someone else to pay money to use it. Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, that's the only thing they have to prove, and that's an instant slam dunk. It shouldn't go through courts or anything like that. It's like, right, fine, okay, then they're all invalid because it's not his signature. You need that forensic estimation and quite a firm estimation. You know, it isn't his signature. There's never a signature that looks like that, so it can't be it. So you get a court decision that says that is not his signature that is on the auto pen. It is Jill Biden's. Therefore, it's not his valid signature as POTUS, and therefore everything is void. Don't forget, fraud vitiates everything. That is fraud.
Wow. That's something I didn't realize. I thought it was his signature, but they were paying to use it. Like, okay, we'll give you this much money, whoever they were going through, whether, it was one of the senators or someone in his administration to use the auto pen for pardons, et cetera, et cetera. But it's way worse than that. It was never his signature to begin with.
I believe.
Allegedly.
It looks so much like Jill's, and we do have these very particular characters about the way we do them, the flourishes in our cursive, or not cursive, italic writing. I don't like saying cursive because that's part of the spells of our writings. But they are forensically a lot more accurate than using PCR tests for your DNA convictions in courts. That's going to be an interesting thing when it comes out. Oh, it's a PCR test used for all your DNA convictions in court.
I like that. I can't wait till they get on top of that one. That should be an easy one. Let's look at video 1D. I love that. This is all about the mayor in London. Take a peek.
And I have to say, I look at London where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed. Now they want to go to Sharia law, but you're in a different country. You can't do that. Both the immigration and their suicidal energy ideas will be the death of Western Europe if something is not done immediately. This cannot be sustained.
His speech is absolutely brilliant at the UN, and people are just, bad-mouthing it. And I thought it was one of his, if not one of the best speeches. He was calm, he was succinct, he was not repetitive, he said it straight. And the interesting thing is, talking about the London mayor, he didn't go to London at all in this last visit, and he actually didn't even meet the prime minister in London. The prime minister had to come out to where he was, out at Windsor Castle in that area.
Yeah. One of the things I liked certainly about his talk at the UN was he actually put them on notice. He said, you are paying for the illegals. You are paying for this invasion.
Yep.
And it was very much a veiled threat. It's like, you are doing this to my country.
Well, the other thing,
don't forget, they pissed him off by mucking around with his autoprompter and the escalator and that. No. The UN is truly a disgusting and quite satanic organization. Every country they've gone to, they've gone and done what they want. They are an army, they're a standing army, and they have gone and set up their own brothels with young girls everywhere they go to keep the men serviced because they're troops. They are quite disgusting.
Can't wait. Tear it apart from limb to limb. Absolutely annihilate it. Take the money. It needs to burn to the ground is what it needs to do, and throw it the hell out of New York.
Yeah, all of the Fourth Reich organizations, the UN, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, they're just Fourth Reich, just the Ashkenazi doing what they want.
No different. Let's take again, this is Trump, and I love this, another part of his speech. Let's look at the next video, Chris. 1E.
Your countries are going to hell. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. When your prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness, and that's what they did. They repaid kindness with crime. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you.
Another great, pointing it out, like you said, putting them on notice that, you're allowing this to happen. And at one point he did say, stop buying Russian oil because you're financing the war that you say you want stopped. And I when he ever said it that way, I'm like, you know what? That's absolutely true. Just like this. All these illegals, all these people, you're financing this and continuing it.
I'm not keen on the whole psyop over the Russian-Ukraine war. I mean, that load of bollocks about Russian drones over Europe. I mean, just shut up. They're not Russian drones. They're launched from in Europe. And the fact that Russia has been cleared out a lot of the biolabs, they found a lot of the organ harvesting places in Ukraine. The regime in Ukraine and what they've done there is nothing short of satanic and filthy. And yet Russia seems to be getting the blame of this. And I can take so much of the Sun Tzu and the art of war, but it just sticks in my throat so much. It sticks in my craw that there's so much lying going on and pointing the finger at Russia. I know it's got to be done for a reason. I'm just sick of it because there's one country that I would definitely move to get that away from UK, and that would be Russia. It's one country I would definitely move there. The people, the economy, the Christianity, I would definitely move there. And it's starting to grate on me somewhat. You know, they've lost millions of lives. Most probably a million lives, or certainly lives ruined, bodies destroyed, blood shed, basically taking down a satanic filth hole, which now has Netanyahu's scumbag Ashkenazi going in there and doing stuff that they want in Ukraine. You know, Russia is doing God's work.
Interesting. I also wondered about that because I had family that had lived there, had gone from England to Russia, and then it ended up going to India and working on the railroads and all that kind of stuff, and never had these kind of stories related or things that went on. It was never what was published out to the public. They said that they never saw it, they never heard it, and maybe they didn't. But it's very questionable how everything is Russia, 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 and yet we haven't really seen any proof. But we know the biolabs were in Ukraine. We know what's happening there. Yeah.
Yeah, you had that. I can't remember that creature's name. That Victoria Newland. She said about the biolab. Oh, they got biolabs there. We have to watch out what they're going to do with them. Russia's been bleeding on our behalf, wiping out that absolute den of filth in Ukraine, where the Ashkenazi actually originally came from, Khazaria.
Wow. Isn't it?
This is a spiritual battle. Make no mistake. This is a spiritual battle.
Absolutely.
You're on the right side or the wrong side. The right side, you're doing something positive. The wrong side, you're either doing nothing, sat on the fence, or you're fighting against it. Because if you're not for it, you are against it.
Agreed.
Laziness, ignorance, a lack of courage. Yeah, don't rob with me.
I love it. All right, my friend. Well, the hour has flown by, and I'm glad we were able to touch on some, serious subjects here, because it all matters in today's world. We can't just keep running around, throwing daisies and, chasing unicorns. We're, like you said, we're in a spiritual battle. We're in a battle where it's not just killing people, although they are there, but it's not just about that. It's about tearing down people, their faith, everything they believe in, destroying everything that we've ever known that we thought we were building and was good, destroying the family. The medical health has gone to, hell in a handbasket. You can't trust the news. You can't trust the banks. It's like, what was this all about? So we all have to stay strong and keep talking to, keep reinforcing and making sure that your neighbors and your families are good and strong, because that's what it's all about in the end, isn't it?
It's a shit show. Get your popcorn.
Well, I'm past popcorn. I'm into ice cream.
All right. Well, stay positive. Remember, put butter on everything because it helps your hormones. Eat lots of animal fats because it helps with your hormones.
All right, my friend. Till I see you, we'll see you in 4 weeks, and we'll be, getting all sorts of information. So God bless, and see you in 4 weeks. Thank you so much.
I'm back to bed.
All right. Good night. All right. There we have Mr. Robbie of England, of the UK, not Britain. Batshit bonkers lady likes to say that. So maybe I got to stop watching her because she likes to say that. But without further ado, I hope you enjoy your evening. Enjoy the outro. And don't forget, 9:15 on Telegram, my broadcasters. We've got Reel to Reel with Ron Flosser. Don't forget, tomorrow night is Bible Talk with Andrew Serafini. Thursday is Street Talk with Stiletto. Don't miss it, 8 p.m. on Rumble. See you next time. Behave, keep your head on a swivel, and above all, love God, love your family.